Oh, okay. So the
Hello
background does stay on there.
and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. All right, and here we are for the Trench Mob Show. I'm your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me, as always, the CEO, CFO, and leader of the Trench Mob himself, Julius Williams. Julius.
Good to be here, brother. How to do?
And we are very lucky to have two moms joining us tonight. First, we have Cece, who is Bryson's mom. Bryson, right?
Yes.
Very excited. We've seen his film. He is a tremendous talent. And we also have Aisha, who is Unitas's mother, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Aisha. It's Aisha, by the way.
Aisha. Sorry.
Aisha.
Very bad with
It's
pronunciation.
okay. It's okay.
Pronunciation. Not quality for the best podcast host in the universe. So, Cece, how long have you guys been involved with the Trench Mob?
3 years, a little over 3 years.
3 years. And what got you started into it? What got you to take the leap of faith and jump into Julius's arms and put your kid in his hands?
Well, Bryson at the time was a student at Duluth. No? Meadow Creek. Sorry. Bryson's in the background, y'all. He was a student at Meadow Creek, and we learned about Trench Mob. And as always, I always tell Bryson to make things a no-brainer for me. Why should I take you to this additional practice? And that's what he did. He explained it to me. I heard him out. And I took him to the practice and I asked him how he liked it afterwards. He said that he did. And so we just stuck by him.
Yeah, that's the way to go right there. It's good that you gave it a chance, and it's a good job. It's a good thing that he enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
Mrs. Unitas's mom, how would you say you got involved in Trench Mob? What brought you and Unitas to the point to want to go to Julius?
Well, United started in 7th grade. We went to some big man competition that Julius wasn't doing it. It was another company doing it, but I met Coach Juice when he was working with the boys on the field. And Mike was out there passing out flyers about the Trench Mob. And so Unitas was at me. He's like, Mommy, I really want to go. I want to go. I want to go. So he reached out to Juice in 7th grade. He was going to 8th grade. I was like, can I come? Can I come to Trench Mob? So that's how we got started. Unitas is very persistent in most things that he does. So that's how I met. I met them at another competition. Juice was one of the NFL players they had there working with the other guys. I can't even remember the name of the competition now, but I do know just being Unitas just fell in love with him, loved the way he communicated with him. When I first went to practice and just seeing them moving their hands, I was like, are they really working? I didn't know what they were doing. I just saw them out there doing their hands, and now I know it really works. I see him do it. But so Unitas is persistent. He reached out to Juice on Instagram, and he said, "Okay, we're gonna have tryouts on this time." And Unitas came. So he's been there since 7th grade.
Wow, 7th grade, all the way up. Have you seen a progression, a difference in him each year that you have joined?
Oh my God, amazing. Listen, if it wasn't for Trench Mob, Unitas would not be where he is right now. I mean, all of the coaches, even academically, he wouldn't be where he is right now, because at one point he was going downhill and all of them got him. Thank God for that. So they worked it out with him, and it's an amazing transformation. Because Unitas played, he was a center. He's been playing since 2nd grade. He was a center,
Right.
and the team he was playing for, they just never gave him an opportunity. But Trench Mob really took him to a whole nother level with his game. I tell everybody, they were the changing factor for Unitas.
Yeah. Coach Smith, great to see you as well.
My guy. Hey, mamas, how y'all doing?
It's been a minute. It's been a
Good,
minute.
how are you?
Cece, how would you say, you've just joined, she's Unitas has been part of it since 7th grade. How has the dynamic been between, kids and then parents who have been involved with it for a longer period of time? Do you guys travel together? Do you guys get to go on the road sometimes together?
For me specifically, I'm not always able to travel, but I am always able to fundraise and make sure my baby can go. So I definitely will fundraise and make sure that Bryson can go, even if I can't. But I think of Trench Mob as family. So I know that I can send my son with this group and he's going to be taken care of. I know that I can trust my son, one, because I raised him. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Got to raise them up good. But I also know that I can trust the coaches and the other parents that are there too. And so they're always looking out and making sure our kids are okay, whether we're there or not. So I don't always get to travel with everybody, but I always make sure that my son gets to go for the experience.
Yeah. So I'll try it again. Isha, is that close?
Aisha.
It's Aisha. It's okay. I can be Unitas' mom. That's what most of the boys call me anyway, Unitas' mom. I'm okay with that.
Aisha. So for you, especially, being part of it since your Unitas was in 7th grade, I mean, is there a sense of camaraderie with the parents? Does everyone come together? Because football's competitive, especially in Georgia. It's like nothing that I've ever seen, and it's truly a different atmosphere down there. But Trench Mob, from what I've seen, really develops that culture between everyone, supporting everyone, picking everyone up, and doing what's best for everyone. Have you experienced that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not always able to get Unitas to practice, so I know a lot of the parents have helped me get him to practice and from practice. Coach Juice have stepped in a couple of times. some of the dads have stepped in, pops have stepped in a couple of times. So it is a big family. So it is a real big part of. I always say that I have a village that helps me raise Unitas, and Trench Mob is a
Sacred
part of that
village.
village. Yeah,
That's
so they're definitely a part of the village. It is. We don't see each other all the time. I don't go to practice a lot because I do work two jobs. So, but when I do see them, it's always a welcoming feeling. Even I think the last tournament I was there, and I hadn't seen some of the moms, and we hug, but we don't have to like be around each other all the time.
right.
Nobody's nasty. It's a great feeling. It's when I say I've never had a bad issue with any of the parents ever. So
Right.
and I've been there since seventh grade, and I've seen parents come in, I've seen parents come out. And I'm like Cece, I don't always get to travel, but I can get him there. Somebody will take him, he'll ride with somebody. So, but like I said, I'm not around them a lot, but everybody knows who I am, and you know, it's a good feeling. It really is. It's family.
And you said it really, he wouldn't be where he's at right now without Trench Mob. And that's the one thing I've said about Juice is that their group really teaches not only football, but they teach almost life skills to help these kids for when, they go off to college and get older. Have you felt that about him? Is that where you've seen a change or some improvements in how he is?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, once Unitas kind of fell off with his grades and stuff, I was able to call Juice and say, "Hey, Unitas is doing this, this, and this," and all the coaches got together and had a great conversation with him to get him back on track. Even I want to say this last tournament, Unitas had a paper or something to write, and Juice said, "I got him." So he went on the trip, and I said, "Yeah, Coach Juice came in the room with me and made sure I did my paper. He sat there with me and made sure I did everything I was supposed to do." So you can't ask for a better coach than that. Somebody that's there and saying, "Hey, are you doing what you're supposed to do?" And even with Coach Ant, I hear him all the time talking about this means nothing without your academics. If you don't have your academics together, I know that these men are here teaching my child the right thing, not just go play, go be a dog. Yeah, be a dog, but be a dog in the classroom too. So that I'm big on academics. I'm really big on academics. So um, I don't have anything but good things to say about Trench Mom. No
Yeah.
one can turn me against Trench Mom. They can't.
Yeah, CC, it's really different now, especially with how college sports have changed overall. You've been involved with it now for a few years. Have you noticed a similar difference in your son and how he is? Because that's the one thing that's impressed me is, Julius, Anthony, Jordan, and the other coaches, they really stress teaching how to become these kids to become men. And I don't think other organizations do that. Have you noticed it as well?
I have. We were frequenting some other trainers. We stopped frequenting
Right.
those trainers about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, because this is, in my opinion, this is the total package. I have witnessed these men teach our kids about financial literacy, and if they didn't know, they brought somebody in that did. I have witnessed these men bring in people to talk about different topics, to keep them, in the know and to keep them informed. I've seen them counsel them one-on-one. I have personally asked a couple of coaches, "Can you please have a conversation with my son?" Not because I couldn't have the conversation, but sometimes it just sounds different when it comes from a man, or it sounds different when it comes from a coach. And although most of us, not all, most of the parents there are single parents raising their kids, and we need that extra push.
Support.
Yeah, the extra push, the extra support. Not to say that they keep our kids in line, but for a lack of better choice of words, they definitely help us with our kids in unimaginable ways that are going to benefit them beyond college, beyond if they are a part of that small percentage that go pro. This will help them in general, life skills, from the training to messages. Just, these are like the ultimate coaches. Like, just like Aisha said, like I don't have anything bad to say about Trench Mob. Like there's nothing negative to say because these are great men and they're helping our children have great character.
Yeah, and it's really challenging to develop great character in this day and age. And you've seen that with so many of the kids involved with Trench Mob. Aisha, what would you say about, the high school coaches and their involvement? And have they been receptive to the Trench Mob working with your kid?
There are always naysayers. I've had a few of the coaches who said a few things about, they didn't like this, they didn't like that. But the high school coaches, they don't have time to develop my kid. They don't have time to spend the time to teach them the skills that they're teaching that they teach at Trench Mob. They don't have that. They got to go home to their families, and these guys got to go home to their family too. But this is their job. This is their business. So sometimes I've heard a few things, but I just dismiss it. I don't get involved in the politics of that. I know what works best for my child.
Have they actually come up to you and said, like, I don't know if this is right. I don't know.
They would never.
Oh,
they would never. They would never. I'm not that mom. I'm not that approachable. But there are some that are very receptive. I have a few that have come out to a couple of competitions. I can't say it's all negative. So some people have had that negative thought, but they'll tell it to the boys. And I'll tell you, don't tell me. I don't want to hear that. But I also have some that have been very receptive, and they come to competitions, and a lot of them have made have good relationships with Trench Mob. So I know a couple of United coaches have good relationships with the guys on Trench Mob. So I mean, I don't have anything bad to say. So they would never say anything to me about it, though.
Cece, what about you? I mean, have you had any pushback from the high school coaches? I mean, do they support Trench Mob, or they try to talk you out of it?
So I have had coaches try to talk me out of it, but I'm going to tell you how amazing Trench Mob is. These coaches, who shall remain nameless, right? They were trying to talk me out of it, and sometimes we fear things that we don't understand or that we don't witness. And I feel like that's a little bit of what that was. So I did have a coach tell me, oh, it's a money grab. It's no good. You need to get rid of that. Like, it's a waste of your time. But that same coach, wait for it. That same coach since then has sent 3 or 4 other kids to Trench Mob. So if that ain't a testimony, I don't know what is. Okay. So to go from disliking a program to sending your players to acquire the same skills, training, coaching, and etc. I think that's major. That's massive. So at first it was a no, we hate that. And now it's like, oh my God, I need to send the rest of these kids over there because we only gonna have one kid that's got these skills. We need to make sure the other kids have these skills too.
But I think you hit the nail on the head right there with the understanding of what exactly is going on. And, fear of the unknown scares everyone. And I think once they saw, the development in your son and learned more about the program, then they became more receptive to it. So that's the importance of it. Juice, what about you? I mean, you're experiencing working with the kids, but I mean, you're also taking on the families as well. It's a big responsibility.
Oh, for sure, man. And the way I feel, man, like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and both of these young ladies have done a great job at raising young men, and that's not easy to do. And, both Unitas and Bryson, they came to us at a very young age. They were barely, Bryson had barely hit puberty and the Unitas hadn't even hit it yet. You know what I mean? So, I love their kids to death. Like both of their kids, I look at them like sons, of my own. And, I would do anything for those guys. Like if they, God forbid, something was to happen to their parents, I would feel it was my responsibility, to take care of them and make sure that, and that's what Trench Mob is, man. When these kids come in, you know, not first of all, we're not for everybody, because
Mhm.
we're not the type of program. We're not kissing no ass, skipping French mamas, and we're not,
Mhm.
we're not just praising the things you do, and we lose a lot of relationships with kids because you got so many coaches that they only praise the kid and they're
They tell them
fans
what
of the
they want to
kid.
hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They
Mhm.
tell them what they want to hear, and both of their kids have been receptive. And
Yeah.
over the years, man, they both have developed rapidly because it's not all good. There's been days we had to get in Bryson ass and Unitas, and say, look,
Mhm.
you better get your mind right. You know what I mean?
Man,
And that's why, they were chosen as captains this year. Bryson was the captain of the offense. Unitas was the captain of the defense. And they led, together fearlessly, and and now me and Coach Jordan and Coach Ant, we barely have to coach because those
They
guys have
handle it.
been groomed and they do the coaching for us.
Yeah, they've been homegrown. Anthony, Coach Anthony, the wise sage that you are, what has your experience been? Dealing with the families, dealing with the moms, especially because I mean, they're right. I mean, you're taking them on the road, you're taking their kids on trips. It's a lot of responsibility, but you guys have succeeded with it.
Now we got a great group of parents. They support us in what we do. Myself, Coach Julius, and the other coaches, us all having similar backgrounds and us understanding, the parents' background. That's kind of why we built it and structured the way we do. Um, and we understand the support that we are, and we take pride in that. And knowing that extra voice and being that extra voice. Uh, th- these are two of my favorite guys. Uni and Bryce, and they've come a long way. They are the pillars of our program. They are the faces. They are the examples of what we want our guys to be like. And they lead. They lead by example, man. They learned. They've had their ups and downs. They've learned from their good and bad experiences. And one thing they do, like Coach said, is now that they lead, and that's what coaches do. You learn from your coaches, you learn from other players from that have led before, and they take all of those things and add them to their character, and they become other great men, man, in our program. So it's all definitely been working. They help support us. They hold each other accountable, and that's the most important thing. Is when we're not there, when they're in the rooms, and when they're all doing what they're doing in their own leisure time, we know that we can turn our backs because we have great leaders like Uni and Bryson, who's going to hold everybody else accountable and not have us, all out here looking crazy.
Right, right. No, it is good that you have developed those leadership skills with both of them to the point where they were captains. CC, as you move forward, what are your goals for your son, and where do you see him in the next 2 years?
I'm so glad you asked. I have my little board up here. I'd show it to y'all, but I don't know how to flip I don't think the computer has a camera on the backside. But so yeah, we have some plans. So like his first year, so Bryson's a rising senior, but he's
Correct.
planning to um, finish high school early so that he can attend spring practice. Um, so let me get my sticky note. So for that
That,
first year, I'm so
that's
happy I got
ambitious.
the board. Y'all don't know what to do. Okay, let me
Hey,
see if I can
half the vision is half the battle.
Can y'all see
Well,
that? Is it letting me show y'all? Let me see if I
No, we
can.
just see your background. No, we just see your background.
I don't even know.
no,
I don't even know how I even got the background up there, y'all. But bless the Lord. Okay,
that's
we just
okay.
gonna put it back and I'll save it for another time. But so yeah, for the 1 year plan, I really just want Bryson to build a protected foundation before everything starts to speed up for him. that first year, I want him to kind of adjust to college life without losing discipline. I want him to learn those playbooks and the college expectations. I've had the opportunity to interview some um students who are currently in college, and I asked them, how can I better prepare, or how can Bryson better prepare himself for that first year? And the feedback I got was the same across 6 or 7 different players. And there's nothing that we could do to prepare them for that first year of college and football and the balance in
Yeah.
between. That's my hopes for him for that first year, is to just get adjusted and stay focused, and become aware of things when it comes to your finances, which I'm so grateful for Trench Mob, because they did bring someone in to teach them about finances, to teach them about insurance, to teach them, about a multitude of different things. But ultimately, what I would like for my son is just for him to be balanced in all aspects to the best of his ability. And the best way to do that is, number one, keep God first.
Right. No,
So
for sure.
I would hope that he would stay focused and on the books and the ball.
Isha, the same with you. With
Aisha.
Aisha.
You're gonna get beat up, man.
The next dollar, I'll get it right.
I got you, girl.
The same with you in the next year or two, because Unitas is quite a talent and everything, and graduating early is what schools want you to do. So she's right. I mean, you can participate in spring practice. Is that something you're looking at as well?
Oh, absolutely. Unitas let Unitas make the decision. He told me in November of last year that he wanted to graduate early. I didn't want him to, because I want my baby to be at home. I'm just gonna be honest. Try to keep as much time as I can with him, but I also know that he's growing into a man. So this was like his first decision as a man, saying, "Hey, this is the direction I want to go in." And so I did everything I needed to do to help him prepare in that space. So Unitas is a dual enrollment student, so he won't even really touch Brookwood campus next year, because he's going to do full-time college.
Right.
So that is one thing. Just continue to build on his college credits. So he'll probably be a sophomore, probably by fall of next
Oh,
year. I think, I'm
wow.
not sure. So yeah, because he'll have like 13 or 14 credits when he leaves. So he's been doing it this year, and he'll do it next year. So he'll graduate in December. A lot of the same things that CC has on play for Bryson is the same space I'm in with United. Definitely getting him in a space of understanding money and being on his own, and letting him know. I always say he's so green. He lives in a space where he doesn't recognize all the things that are happening outside of the world. So he's going to be in a space with kids from all spans of life, because being here in the suburbs, he gets to meet suburban kids. He gets to do those things. So actually experiencing people who may have had a rougher path, or somebody who may not have all the things that he has. He doesn't have to really want for much. You know what I'm saying? So definitely having him to experience life, to know how to live without me, without calling me for all the little things, and understand that, hey, when you're out of deodorant, you have to go get your own deodorant. And it's not call mama, or, I have Amazon drop everything at the door. No, now you have to do that. So just seeing him grow as a man, that's my main space. Actually keeping him on the path of staying in the same academic realm that I have him here. I did let him know that, and I'm letting all the coaches know that I talked to. Once he leaves here, it's y'all job to keep him on his beat. I need him to keep his beat, So make sure you keep him on the path. So just really seeing him going to a D1 program, playing the best ball, and staying. And when he does come home, he's already told me when he comes home, he's definitely got to give Coach Juice when I come home. I got to train. So continuously training with Trench Mob, continuously growing as a great athlete, a student athlete. Just building as a man, period. So I'm excited for to see which direction he's going to go in. But yeah, the next 2 years definitely been in a great D1 program, absorbing as much as he can. Just being, is a whole entity by himself. He is a mm, lack of better. I can't. His personality is so big. He has such a big personality, and I just want to make sure. And he's a really, really good kid. I don't want to see him get taken advantage of because that's the space that he's in. Like I said, he's really green. He doesn't know he's a suburban kid. So um, that's the main space. Just seeing him in a great program and watch him grow as a man.
Yeah. And Aisha, it's going to be exciting to go through that experience for sure. Julius, what do you think? I mean, this is impressive that you have two kids that want to graduate early, want to go in December and start competing. I mean, that wasn't the norm when you and I were coming out. Is that more prevalent today, would you say?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a standard, that we live by and that we preach to our kids, and that's part of it. I mean, everybody is not going to play Division I football, but for the ones that work hard enough, and develop, enough to get that opportunity, they understand that there's a way to do it, and the way to do it and be successful is to leave everything outside alone and focus in on this. And if you're going to be an elite football player, you need to be on campus, in January. I mean, you got to leave the high school stuff behind, hanging out with your friends and, and being at home with mom. And, you got to be able to, you got to blossom early, become a man early. You know what I mean? Get on that campus and learn your way, to have the best chance to succeed. And, and I feel very confident that both of these guys, Bryson and Unitas, I see Anna over there, man. Aunt got that T-Mobile Wi-Fi over there, man. Hey, but yeah, you gonna get me for that though. Both Bryson and Unitas, have been well prepared. Not just by us, but by their moms. And by other people in their village. I mean, those are great kids. I mean, from day one, I can remember both of those guys' first days out. I can remember both of their first tournaments, man, how they looked and how scared they were and how big their eyes were. You know what I mean? And to see what they blossomed into now, you know, both of those guys are fearless. Like Ed said, they're fearless leaders. It's like, man, it's like sometimes I just look at them and smile because they don't understand. I still see the little baby that came out, when they first came out, and now to see them blossom into, young men that are about to go play college football and, and that are going to have families one day and, and get married and, you know what I mean? And do so many great things, man. I mean, the sky's the limit for both of them, not just in football, but in life, because they're just that type of young men. And no matter what they do, if they decide that football is not for them, we know that they're going to go out and be great pillars of society, and definitely, and put some good into the world, So, I mean, that's what I'm for, man. I mean, I could care less. We got kids that are going to play D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, whatever, but we know for sure that they're going to be great young men when they leave our program. And hopefully they never leave our program. We have kids that, we don't ever hear from again, but most of our kids, they stick around. And I mean, I'm talking to kids now that have jobs and careers and, and trying to figure it out. I got kids calling me, asking me parenting questions and, all kind of stuff like that, man. So, I mean, that's what Trench Mob is. We're a true family, man. And football is really, it's the reason these guys meet me and Coach Ant and Coach Jordan. But it's the last thing, really in our eyes that we want to, help you with. Football is, if everything else, you check the boxes and everything else, you're going to be a good football player because it's those same characteristics, in life that make you great in football.
Yeah, and we were talking about this today. There's a lot of kids who are capable, but there's willingness that goes along with it. So some are capable and not willing to use their talent and use their abilities. And these are two kids who are capable and willing and want to be the best they can possibly be. You would say you've seen their development over the years.
Yeah, and they're coachable, man. Like the biggest difference between, I think, us, Steve, when we came out, back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s, is these kids today aren't coachable. Like that's
No,
why
no.
a lot of kids they don't last with trench mob because as soon as we, kind of,
You
raise
coach
our
them.
voice or get in their face a little bit and coach
Yeah.
them up, they run for the border because they're not used to that. Like they're
Yeah.
used to all these coaches kissing their butts and telling
I
them that they're
know.
great and they're this and they're that. See, coaches these days are really fans. You got coaches that have cameras waiting on kids before they show up. And when they get out the car, they feel like a superstar, entering the movie scene before they go train. You know what I mean? So, that's
Yeah.
the environment that we keep. I'm old school, man, and that right. And I believe respect is earned, from both sides. I have to go out and earn their respect and the same with me. And I think with those two guys, man, like Coach Ant said earlier, like they're true examples of what we aspire all of our kids to be. And there's kids that are at eighth grade and kids like Logan in eighth grade and Brando, and then you got kids like ninth graders like Percy. They look up to Bryson, and Unitas. The same way Bryson and Unitas looked up to, Kanan Edwards and, Demola Jeterhan and Sean Perrette. And the same way Sean Perrette looked up to guys like, Bill Hughley and David Connor and Rayvon Johnson. Like, it's a turnover, and what we aim is for these kids to grow and then come back and help the rest of the kids grow. Like Bryson don't understand, the Uniteds don't understand the way the eighth graders look at them. They're like God. Bryson and the Uniteds are like gods to some of our seventh graders and eighth graders, and they inspire them to grow. You know what I mean, and be like them one day. I've overheard conversations. I want to be like Bryson when I be. You know what I mean? It's crazy because if they knew the responsibility that they grew in, to be the two most respected players in our program will be our captains, man.
Yeah.
It's tremendous, a tremendous responsibility, and they live in it every day. And I'm just proud to, call them mob.
Yeah. CC, would you say, how would you, going through the recruiting process thus far, what has been your experience with it, with the, the coaches or the recruiting staff or going on visits? Because it's changed a little bit. How have you enjoyed it so far?
It's been quite the adventure. My favorite thing to
About
say is that it is the best stress that I have ever had in all of my years of living because he could have zero offers and zero opportunities
Absolutely.
to go to college for free. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He could have zero chances. And I am just ever so grateful for Trench Mob. Bryson has a 33 committable scholarship offers. And we would not have been able to accumulate that without Trench Mob.
Very
And
nice wording, by the way.
why, thank you.
Committable. Yes.
Because you got to make sure, okay?
You're smart. They taught you well. Yes.
You don't want them to pull the rug from underneath you now. So, in my experience, it has been equally exciting as it is overwhelming.
Yes. Yes.
I
It is.
feel like
It's a lot to
that's the
take on.
fairest assessment. Yeah. You got to have the right questions or know what questions you want to ask. You got to, talk to your kids about what it is that they want to do so that you can know what questions to ask. I will say this. I went on a college visit, which said school shall remain nameless. I went on this college visit and this coach was like, wow, I've never seen in all my years, many, many years of recruiting, I've never seen a parent and recruit show up with pen and paper to take notes at a practice.
That prepared you.
That was the number one thing because I'm going to write down everything because I got a question about everything. Okay. But he also mentioned when we were in his office, he said, a lot of parents come in here and smile and they'll laugh a little bit. And he said they'll ask some of the dumbest questions ever and not get any of the information that they need to help their children.
Right.
And he said, I just appreciate you coming with a list of real questions. Oh, I had questions for everybody. I had questions for the janitor, the lunch lady. I had a question for everybody. Because I need to understand and comprehend who I'm sending my child off to,
The
that
environment.
to potentially develop him into being a young adult, right?
Right.
Because I know the work that I've put in, and I know the work that Trench Mob has put in, and I know the work that his high school coach has put in, but I don't know these people. And I got to make sure that I'm sending my son to a place where he can develop, not just athletically, but mentally and socially, and just in general as a young man. So with my experience in this, it has been great because I have found out so many things, because college is not, this process is not the same as it was in early 2000s at all. It's completely different. And I have learned very quickly that you have to be mindful of what you say. And you also have to be mindful of what they're saying. Listening skills in this process are extremely important.
100% they are. That tells you the story right there when you do listen. And it's good that you truly have to ask the right questions to get the right answers to make a sound decision with everything you're doing. Aisha, what about you and your experience throughout the recruiting process? Has it been a learning experience? Has it been enjoyable? I mean, it's nice to be wanted, but as Cece said, I mean, are you trying to gather useful information so you can make the best decision, and your son can make the best decision for the next 4 to 5 years of his life?
Of course, someone, maybe not to the extent Cece said. I don't have a question for the janitor, but but I do have a lot. I'm asking. I had my first home visit yesterday, and that was an experience. I didn't know that happened. I'm like, why do they have to come here? I didn't understand that, but anyway, but now I get it. I get it after experience, and I get it.
That's very special.
Yes. So for them to come in my home and know how we live, and I'm a realist almost most of the time anyway, unless I'm talking to a customer on the phone. But anyway, so the experience is it's overwhelming in the beginning. To have as many offers as my son and Bryson has is so much. I didn't know what direction. I still don't really know what direction to go in. I want it to be an experience more for Unitas and not necessarily me as a mom. Once I ask him what he wants, then those are the things that I'm pushing for in my questions. I want it to be about me. I want to say I don't want him to go far and all these different things, but I keep those things to myself. So mine is more checking on how they deal with academics, what kind of living situation, what does a meal plan look like, so all those questions. And these are questions that I learned from watching things on the internet, listen to the type of things that Juice and the other guys and Jordan, what they tell us to look for. And so these are things that I've documented and kind of have a list of different things that I have to ask, and like she said, committable. I had to ask a lot of coaches, is this committable? I didn't know to ask that in the beginning, but being a part of this program, they've given us the tools so we know what questions to ask when we go in. But I really had to remove myself from it and let Unitas make his own decision. I don't ever want to be the mom that says, I want you to go to this school. And then he gets there and he hates it. Or those coaches don't fit the aesthetic that he's looking for. So I ask those important questions or the sticky questions that he doesn't know to ask because I'm mom. And I let him ask the questions that he wants to ask. But it's overwhelming, but it's also fun. It's also expensive. So the amount of money I have to spend with traveling, and I have another child, and she's an athlete too, so she's playing flag football. I'm traveling with her. So a lot of the visits that Unitas has gone on, United has gone on, I haven't been able to go. So the coaches at the school have taken him. And of course, going to all the colleges with Trench Mob. So a lot of times I don't get to go because my daughter may be in competition or she may have a game. But on the phone with them, calling them and saying, I don't like him really talking to many coaches without them having my number. I want to be able to ask my questions because, he's a 17-year-old kid. They're going to tell him all the good stuff. He's going to think this is a great space, So I have to put my mama's aspect in that space. It's fun. it's overwhelming. I done cried a couple of times. I done laughed a couple of times. Unitas has committed to Arkansas State, but they don't listen. They don't care. He's still getting offers. There are people
No,
still
they
talking.
recruit you harder when you
Yes,
commit.
they recruit you harder. So,
They do.
it's an experience. It's an experience I'm never gonna forget. And I thank God, like she said, it's a blessing because there was a point where he didn't have any offers, and I remember him saying, "I want to offer, I want to offer, I want to offer," and then it just started coming. Woo, woo. I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't keep up with it. I was like, "Oh my God, you're just so
That's
blessed,"
how
and
it happens.
they're still coming, and United's playing both sides of the ball. So now he's not only getting defense offers, he's getting O-line offers. What am I supposed to do with all this? I don't know what to do. So I mean, like Cece said, it is a blessing. It is a blessing. These men are, it's a whole program. I know we're talking about the men, but you know who else is a blessing? Miss Brandy. Miss Brandy is a blessing. She's the
Yes,
one that sets up all
it's
these
a
things. I know this
blessing.
is a Mother's Day weekend, so she's the one that's setting up trips and all the different things. So we got to keep that aspect in there too. It always takes a woman to put all the stuff together. So the guys do an amazing job, but I mean, the opportunities that I can tell you, I truly believe Unitas would not be in this space without Churchwell. He would
Right.
Yeah.
not have this many offers. He got his first offer being with Jordan. It's so funny because he didn't even know he had got offered. It was Jordan the next Sunday at practice, like, Unitas, you didn't tell me about the offer. He's like, what? I got offered? He had no clue that he had been offered. And it was so funny. I was like, so you had an offer for a whole week and didn't even know. So that's how oblivious we were to what was going on. And still, in so many cases, we still don't know what's going on. But these guys are amazing. I mean, it's a great experience. So it really is.
Yeah, and it is true. Once you commit, they start to recruit you harder. And
Yeah.
once you get one offer, then it's just like a snowball. It starts rolling downhill. All right,
Steve,
CC.
if I can
Explain.
add one thing, Steve, right quick,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to talk about that about Unitas a little bit more and embark on what Aisha just said. There was a time when Unitas called me probably about a year and a half ago, damn near in tears, saying that he didn't believe that he was going to get recruited, and he didn't believe that he was big enough, and because Unitas is an undersized defensive lineman and offensive lineman. I mean, he's barely 6 feet,
Right.
and people are not looking for 6 feet, 5'11" players, period, at any position. So I had to really tell Unitas, like, look, man, they don't want you, but you have to make them want you. You have to be
Mhm.
that good. You have to play that hard. You have to believe in yourself that much more. And it was a struggle for him because he watched all of these other guys that were
Yeah.
younger than
Oh
him
yeah.
get offers.
Yeah.
Guys that he felt like he was way better than get offers. And he almost fell into a depression. And I would just always encourage him every time I seen him, look, man, keep working. You got to be more violent. You got to run to the ball more, right? You can't just get 5 sacks. You got to get 10 sacks. You got to get
Mhm.
double digits. You got to stand out.
Yes.
And
No.
Unitas had, I believe, 1 sack the year before,
Year
and
before
he,
last.
yep,
Mhm.
and he came out last summer, and we worked 4 days a week, and grinded every day. And Unitas went out this year and got 13 sacks. All
Yeah.
right, Unitas, went to summer camp last year and destroyed every 6'4", 6'5" person they put in front of him. And that's why he's able to be the Unitas Baltimore that he is today. Because he found that belief in himself. He put the work in. He did the undoable by being a 5'11" defensive lineman, and I'm so proud of him, man. For that, because that's what's going to carry him long past football. Football is
Yeah.
going to end one day, but it
Yeah.
takes those characteristics. And
That
Bryson as
work
well.
ethic.
Like
Yeah.
if you see Bryson 2 years ago, 3 years ago, compared to what he is now, you wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? You wouldn't believe it. And it's like, because the thing about us, Steve, and I'm from Decatur, right? East Atlanta area, right? So when I first came to Gwinnett, there were a lot of people that said a lot of bad things about me. Or that kid, he's from the hood. He don't belong in Gwinnett. He's corrupting these kids in Gwinnett. And the same thing about Coach Jordan. He's from DeKalb County, where I'm from, right? And the thing is, we were able to instill that grit, that craziness, that belief in these kids, but also teach them how to be great young men off the field at the same time. So, like, when people see our kids on the field, they're violent. They're going to talk trash. They're going to back it up. They're going to stick their chest out. But off the field, they're mannerable young men. Who are going to be very productive. And that's what I'm most proud of. When you cut the film on and you see them play, they're savages. But when they leave the field, they're well-mannered young men who can have an intellectual conversation with anybody. You know what I mean? So, man, that's what I'm most proud of them working towards that.
All right, CC, let's see the board. You're on mute. You muted yourself. Wow, that was a big board.
Yeah, because in my mind I felt like I needed a big board. It really didn't need to be this big, but
yeah. What are the little slips?
We thinking big over here, okay? Okay, I'm trying to turn the camera around so that you can actually see it and the words not be backwards. Okay, it won't let me. That's absolutely fine.
Well, you had it right there. Yeah. So, wow. So there's little slips in each one.
Right. So how we did our recruiting process was I had, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4 categories: education, development, culture, environment, NIL, and exposure. That's last because we care about it, but it's not the most important, if you get what I'm saying. So
Sure.
What's most important is that education.
Right.
Then it's the development. Then we want to check out the culture and environment. So when I went on these visits, we asked certain questions related to these topics. And so basically there's a little popsicle stick for each question that we asked. And if they met my son's standards for what it was that he wanted, then they got a popsicle stick.
Oh, okay.
That's how we narrowed that down, okay? Because he had a lot going on.
Yeah. With
so yeah, I didn't want to get sued, so I made my own.
I love
that. I didn't want to mess with their logos, but these are all the offers except for a couple because I ran out of construction paper, but it's cool. These are a couple of the offers. They got a little Velcro on there so we can move them around. And then we did that based on where he was so he can understand how far away you are from me. Buddy. That's how far you away. Pay attention to where you go, and stuff like that. And then on that other side, we got the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year plan. And all of this has to be in alignment because if it's not in alignment, then why are you choosing that school?
Well, wow. That is very thorough and very well organized. Very impressive.
I only got the one kid.
Yeah.
I only got one chance to get it right. So I had to figure out. I'm a visual person. So my son
is a great visual aid.
Yeah. My son enjoyed this too.
You should copyright that, by the way.
I'm working on it.
Hey, Steve, I told her, man. I told her she got to write her book, man. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, she ain't.
It's been an experience. It's been an experience, and because I only have the one kid, I only got one chance to get parenting right. I only have one chance to make sure that I do the best of my ability to provide my son with the information. I'm not going to be the one putting on that helmet, and I'm not going to be the one sitting in that classroom. And it doesn't matter where you go to school because, baby, Delta fly everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Delta right. Fly everywhere. However, if I can't do anything else, I can do the best of my ability to do the research and find the facts. And you can make your decision based on facts because you can't make a decision based on relationship, phone conversations, text messages, and visits alone. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You need to know what you're getting yourself into, the history of the school, the stability of the coaching staff. In my opinion, those are things that are important. That locker room culture with the transfer portal going on the way that it is, we want to
Very good to
understand what that
notice.
culture is like when you got 10 kids from different foundations coming to
Yeah.
that school. So I just didn't know what else to do but to make sure I provide my son with information so that he can make the best choice for him. Just like Aisha said, I don't want you to resent me for choosing for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I
totally
can't
agree.
give you the info.
All right. Well, we will put on their film now.
Oh, yeah.
What it is, and not as boss mode with the trench mob, you know.
I'll lower that. Okay. Here is Unitas.
What we finna do? Mob do it.
Yeah, and you're right. When you're undersized, it's unfortunate. You got to be perfect in everything you do. Those guys who are 6'4", 6'5", they get a million chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fearless, man. He doesn't matter how big, how small, or whatever. He's out there. What we call him.
No, it's fearless. Good job with the counter.
You only got Bub, ain't you?
Yeah.
Really good job with the counter. Good job with it. He's playing out in tackle, too.
Yeah. He only probably the only player in Trench Mob history that played every single position. From top, the guard, the center, the DN, tackle, and nose.
He's got a really good set for tackle.
Yeah, man. He's probably our most versatile player we've ever had. Like, not even close.
Great job with the spin move. Good hump, geez.
Straight dog, man. Like, Unitas is, he reminds me a lot of myself at his age. Like, he was just fearless, just don't even know no better. He's just, what I mean? It's crazy, man. To see how he's grown.
Yeah, you can see that he's playing with a different confidence.
And Steve, and that's under the radar. This is a huge platform. And so when they came to our camp, I didn't tell them who to make, videos for. You know what I mean? They just saw guys that they felt like did a great job and they made videos. So to even have an under the radar video is like a big deal. That means you're one of the guys.
They're one of the top platforms around. Absolutely.
And then Bryson got one too.
Right. He's got one on.
Oh yeah.
No, he just
He's having fun out there, man.
That guy ran into a brick wall.
Right. And Bryson's personality is so funny, man. Like, he doesn't talk a lot, but he talks. He's funny. You know what I mean? And he has such a fun personality, man. Such a fun kid to be around. Always smiling. I don't think I've ever seen him down, not one time. He makes. I can have something going on, personally that I'm bothered by a family issue or. Every day isn't the best day. But when I walk out there and I see kids like Bryson, he smiles at you, he makes it all worth it, man. You know what I mean? And it's just, to seeing those kids, man, they keep me motivated. You know what I mean? To be my best self. Because I know they're dependent on me.
He's got excellent technique. Real good job with the pass rush. Real good job.
Technician.
Real good footwork. I mean, having that effort like right there. I mean, that's something you don't see every day. That's an
Trench
excellent
Mob
job.
created some monsters.
No, I believe me. I've seen them. I know that they have. I know that they have. But wow. So those were incredible videos. I just want to thank both of you for coming on and really giving a good perspective of what it's like being a mom going through this process, being a mom in the trench mob, and going through everything that is college sports is evolving. It's challenging and changing for you guys as well. And I think that you got both moms, Aisha and Cece, have done outstanding jobs instilling really important values in your kids that go beyond football. I mean, you're obviously giving them every opportunity necessary to go far in football, but what you're doing for them, the life skills and the growth and development that you're focusing on. There's not a lot of parents that do that, and a lot of parents tend to see dollar signs on their kids, or they live a little too vicariously through their kids. So I give you guys a tremendous amount of credit for what you've done, and I'm really happy for the opportunities that your kids are going to have, and for your families. Because let me tell you, playing college football in front of a massive, well, I mean, you guys have massive stadiums in Georgia, not where I'm from, but you guys are going to have wonderful experiences. And trench mob is as hard as it gets. I mean, the only thing harder is college, and your kids will assimilate much better than any other freshman they bring in. And the other thing to remember is, I believe CC and Aisha both said, you talked about the transfer portal. They, for your kids to receive offers and be selected as freshmen, that says something right there, because the number of freshmen who are being offered are committable offers are way, way, way down from, God, even 5 years ago. So that right there in itself is something you should be proud of. That you got your kid to go to college for free. You got him the Division I level, and as freshmen, not having to go another route, because that's what a lot of people are having to do now.
Right.
So I really, I commend you up and down as moms, as parents, and for believing in Julius and everything that they're doing with the trench mob. And I think it speaks for itself. The difference that it makes when you buy in and you trust your kids with them, that they are going to get better, that they are going to learn those values and life skills that stay with them throughout. So Juice, I mean, wow, two great moms, two great kids. The last question I had for you: what did you think about the NCAA passing the new rule, the 5 years for 5, where they're starting the clock at age 19, and you can play 5 years, and you can redshirt, but you can play 5 years, 5 out of 5, and they're trying to put an age limit on it, so there's no more 25-year-old quarterbacks.
Right. I mean, I love it, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
more opportunities, the better. And I feel like
it's been taken away from freshmen, from kids
man.
coming in.
Exactly, man. And, all these people out here, reclassing. You got people out here reclassing their kids in kindergarten. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know what I mean? He's going to do kindergarten twice, because I want to give him the best chance to get some NIL money, and I don't, knock people that are reclassing and stuff like that, but I just think
It's got to be for the right reason.
Yeah, but the 5 for 5, man, it just it just gives you more opportunity, man, especially with fighting
Yeah.
against the transfer portal, and
Yeah.
guys having more time to develop. I mean, even myself, like when I came into college, I didn't know anything about football. I mean, I knew
Yeah,
how
I
to run
didn't
fast, I could jump high, I could hit hard. I had a bad attitude but on the football field and maybe sometimes off. But it took me 2 years to really learn what football was. You know what I
right.
mean? And what I was
Yeah,
doing.
me
Like my
too.
coaches at my high school, they were great at teaching me how to not be afraid of running through a wall. But I didn't learn football really until I got to college. You know what I mean?
No.
So I think it's a great opportunity, man. For these kids, and
Yeah.
getting more opportunities, and not have to be pressured into playing early.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, moms, thank you so much again for coming on, and a happy Mother's Day.
No, for sure. Happy
To both
Mother's
of
Day,
you.
for sure. Steve, can I
Thank
say
you.
one more
Thank
thing about the
you.
moms?
Yeah.
I, so we've been training kids since 2015. I retired May 2015, right? And the very next month, I began to mentor and train kids, and we've been doing this now for 11 years. We've had young men in our program for 4, 5, 6 years, and I've never even met the parents. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
never even had a conversation with the mom or dad. And they just kind of drop them off at the gate and pull off, or
It's on
they may
you.
ride
Yeah.
with someone else, or So I mean, their kids are a testament to who they are, and I just want to thank them publicly for that,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
you definitely see a correlation in support in these young men. And over the years, we have so many great parents. You know what I mean? And the kids that normally go the furthest are the kids that have that support. Especially I know they mentioned earlier. Especially being a single mom, you have to go over and beyond. You have to be mom and dad. You know what I
Well,
mean?
they
You have
said
to be,
take
and
the
it's
village.
exactly, and to see them do that and thrive at it, and their sons that come out to be great young men. Their sons have never been out there in dirty clothes or being hungry or had any complaints about life, and that just goes to show that they're being taken care of at home. And because they don't have to worry about that, they can come out and relax and learn football and be great at that. So, and I just want to definitely publicly, celebrate them for
Yeah.
being great moms and great
Thank
people
Absolutely.
you. Thank
of
you.
our
Thank you
trench mouth community.
so much.
Absolutely. No, I mean, congratulations to both of you, because
Thank you.
to do it like you have, and it's 1% of high school kids that play Division I football, and for both of you to send your kids to college like that, you should be very, very proud of everything you've done, because I can tell how much you love your kids and how you have put them first. And that's what a parent's job is to do. So congratulations on that. And I'm really excited for the future. I'm excited to watch their senior film, and I'm excited to see them play at the next level. So
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
yeah,
so much. I appreciate it.
for Julius, leader of the Trench Mob, Cece and Aisha. I said it right by the end of the show.
You
You
did. You
know.
did.
I'm so proud of you, Steve. You did it. You did that.
You guys were great, and sharing important lessons and experiences for any people who watch this show.
I'm about to say that's very insightful for other parents. I mean, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
we gotta, this is the blueprint. You know what I mean? We gotta, this is a big time show.
I mean, we get 30 to 50,000 viewers a week, so you're going to have a big impact on people. I can promise you that. So, again, thank you for being on. Congratulations, and just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.